So I'm with Dave from Canon, who's going to talk us through a brand new CSC that Canon have just announced today. What have we got?
Yeah, okay, so we've got the EOS M50 here to show you today. So the M50 is going to sit above the M100 and below the M6 and the M5. Now, if you look at it, look at the sort of button layout and the way that it works, it's quite a simple camera to use in that with the way we've set out the buttons and the controls and this kind of thing, this would be a great camera if this is your first interchangeable lens camera or if you're looking for starting out in this type of photography. It's got the green square mode on here as well, so fully automatic mode, but it's got all the manual control that you want. And what's lovely about this camera is most of the functions are menu driven. So it's all done from the touchscreen, which I think if this is, say, if people are used to using smart devices or used to using their mobile phones and this kind of thing, they'll find this camera quite easy to use because you can run through the touchscreen as you would do on your other devices. Saying that about the screen, so yeah, it's a lovely big variable angle screen, so it's a proper variable angle screen, which I think is really, really nice there. Yeah. If you're shooting at different orientations, you can still see the screen really nicely and easily. Yeah.
So what sensor is it built around? What processor?
So it's a 24 million pixel sensor, so it's our latest generation of sensor, and it's got dual pixel CMOS AF. This is actually an improved version of dual pixel AF, which covers a larger area and also gives you the ability to select more AF points, which will really help if you're photographing fast-moving subjects and this kind of thing. So it's our most advanced dual pixel CMOS AF.
And that's obviously useful as well for video, which I know is a feature where this camera's a little bit different.
Yeah, so internally, this is the most advanced mirrorless camera that we've got because it's now got Digic 8 inside it, so our latest Digic processor. And that is a very, very powerful processor. And one of the things that this does give you is it gives you 4K movie.
Nice.
Yeah, so this will be our first, I suppose, consumer styled camera for 4K shooting.
It's the first 4K shooting camera to have this size sensor, isn't it, from Canon?
Yes, it is. So it's the first one, yeah, the first one with APS-C sensor to have 4K. The 4K will run at 25 frames per second. You get autofocus using the 4K as well. It's a great addition, I think, to this camera at this level to give people the different types of let people experiment with shooting that. It will also shoot full HD as well, and it'll shoot that at 60 frames a second. Or if you're doing HD, at 720 HD, it'll shoot up to 120 frames per second as well. So you can experiment with doing that sort of slow.
And there's a mic input on the side.
Yeah, it's got a mic input, and it's a standard 3.5mm. Mic input. So I was looking at this as a camera, and you think if you've got the variable angle touch screen, you've got dual pixel CMOS AF, you've got the mic input as well. This could be a real camera of interest to vloggers and people like that. You noticed one of the big things about it, I suppose, the big bump on the top there. So it's got a built-in digital viewfinder. This is our high-resolution 2.36 million dot viewfinder. And one thing we have added to this, which has come from the M5, which the feedback to this feature has been great, so we've now moved on to other cameras in our lineup, which is touch and drag AF.
Okay.
So if you hold the camera up to your face, you can change your AF point by touching the screen.
It continues to operate whilst it's held up against the eye.
Yeah, which I think is brilliant. As I say, something we put first of all on the M5, but the feedback's been so positive to that we decided to put it on here.
So in terms of burst shooting, what can this camera do?
Okay, so we've got 7.4 frames a second with autofocus, so if you're tracking something like a car or a motorbike or something like that, and then we'll do 10 frames a second without autofocus. So if you're photographing something like someone playing golf or someone playing baseball or something like that, and you get a shot of them hitting the bat, you get 10 frames a second. So it makes it our fastest.
So somebody in a moment of action, but they're not physically moving across a frame or something.
That's right,
like that.
Yeah,
cool.
So it has that ability. Now there's two other, I could talk about this camera for ages because there's so many new things on it, but there's two things I'd like to cover off. One is the manual focus peaking. So if you're wanting to have that confidence about your autofocus, we have that ability to do that on here. Yep. And then the last thing I want to mention is there's a new RAW file on here, which is something we've never done before, and it's a smaller RAW file. So you've got your standard RAW. And then you've also got this smaller 14-bit RAW, which is about 40% smaller than the standard RAW.
So all the file information is still there. The image quality is exactly the same. It's just the compression that's smaller now.
Exactly. Yeah. So it'll give you, so you can get more images on a memory card basically, but you still have that ability to change your settings. Connectivity. So we've got Wi-Fi, NFC, and Bluetooth on both of these cameras. Yeah. And there is a new feature on here, which is automatic transfer, which is something we haven't seen before. So if you've got our app downloaded, our free app, and you've got that and you've connected to the camera and you've got it running in the background on your smart device, any image that you take will be automatically uploaded to your smart device. And that's a really great way of backing up your images, or if you want to share them very quickly.
So as soon as you check your phone, it's already there, already ready to be shared.
Absolutely, yeah, which is, I think it's a great addition to
you haven't got to set it up every
capability.
time, you haven't got to sit there and connect things, it's just ready to go.
No, once you've connected, you've connected.
Brilliant.
And so there's some good advanced features on here as well. So you've got the little hot shoe on the top there if you want to use a flash and this kind of thing. You have all the kind of control you'd expect. This also has a silent shooting mode on here, which is something that we haven't seen before, which it's an automatic mode, but it'll basically make the camera make the minimal amount of noise, which if you're photographing young children or babies or something like that, or maybe you're in a gallery or something, you can make the camera have that ability to sort of be really stealthy.
Perhaps you've even set it with that connectivity, away from you for some wildlife. You monitor it on your phone. You don't want to scare it off.
Yeah. You could have that ability to give you that flexibility.
And 2 colour variants as well.
Yeah, so we've got the black and we've got the white as well. The black's obviously our traditional sort of look and feel, and then we've got the white here, which you can use with the silver lenses, which I think fits in quite nicely when you look at the camera. You've got the sort of silver on there, and you've got the silver lens, but the black is the classic look and feel.
It's a bit Stormtrooper looking, isn't it?
It is a bit, isn't it? I have to say, yes, it has got that sort of, especially with the angular sort of design to it. It has that look. So yeah, you've got a little built-in flash there as well, which is really, really nice thing to have.
Brilliant. So for more information about the M50, visit wex.co.uk.